back again with another video. Hope everyone has been having a good week, a good day. I have been having a wonderful day. Today I am an official business owner, so I'm ecstatic, I'm excited, and this has been a long road. So I can't wait to get that established and off the ground. You know, it's something that will benefit not just my family, but everyone in the long run. So I'm excited again. So jumping into this video, last video I think I left off with me graduating, and so I graduated with the 4-month-old. My oldest daughter was 4 months old when I graduated. And the lease was up again, where my mother and my sister were living, and she didn't want to sign another lease there. She couldn't afford it anymore. And so within that time frame, we were trying to find another place to live, but it was really cutting it really close to where we had to be out. So I remember myself and my sister had told one of our friends at the time about the situation, and our friend came up with a solution. She said, how about me and my sisters move in with her sister, because her sister had just got an apartment, and then my mom can just go with her boyfriend. So we introduced that idea to my mother, and she actually was okay with that. So we ended up being in with my friend's sister. She was an older sister of my friend, and we had known them for quite some time. Prior to me being pregnant and all that, we used to go and party with her sister a lot, because her sister was older than us, and my friend would always drag us along to the parties and stuff her sister would go to and attend. And her sister was hung with a crowd that had a lot of, big names in it. Let's just say it's a lot of celebrity athletes, all that stuff. So we had been known them, so it wasn't like it was just off the whim, just some random person. So when we moved in with her sister, my mom moved in with her boyfriend, and my mom was just giving the girl that we stayed with money for us since we stayed there. So within that time, it was kind of a big blur because we moved in with her, and it was literally like all girls there. And of course, she would always have people over the house on the weekends, parties, all that stuff. And it wasn't really ideal for children. And I had, a 5-month-old, 6-month-old, or something like that at the time. But that time was a little blurred, and it was fun. We stayed with her for a while, and then my mother she finally found a place. She found a townhome. It was a 2-bedroom townhome, and when she found this place and came and got us, she said that in order for her to live in this townhome with us, that we would need to pay her rent. So my two sisters, they actually got a job, and they enrolled themselves into a night school for a medical assisting or something like that. And I got a job part-time because I had my daughter and I couldn't afford daycare. So I would go to work when my mom got home, and I got a job in the mall, and I would work at a clothing store. I would work there like 5-6 hours a day in the evenings. And then on the weekends, I would work all day from morning to night, just double shifts, because I wanted the money, and we were all, each of us, me and my sisters, were giving my mom like $200 to $300 for rent, just to stay there. The relationship between me and my daughter's father started to kind of dwindle, just because not necessarily the hate from my mother, which was also a strain, but I would also notice that he would never just want to come and see his daughter. It was always with the intentions of seeing me. So even when I was trying to pull away, just because of that, it wasn't like he was really doing anything for our daughter. It was his mother doing a lot of the stuff, or if she would tell him to do some stuff, he would do it. It wasn't automatic for him, and he would use my daughter just to come and see me, and I didn't like that. So I started to distance myself a lot, just because of that. And it was a wake up call for me as well. Obviously he didn't like that, so I had lots of issues with him not accepting that our relationship wasn't going to be how it was. It caused a lot of problems, actually. He would act out and try to come to the house, very aggressive, very mean. And it got to the point to where, of course, him and my mother would go at it. And he got so upset one day, because I think it's because my mom didn't want him to come in the house or something like that. I can't remember the nature of the conversation, but he got so upset that he slashed my mother's tires. And it was on several occasions that he did this. And my mother would always call the police and all this stuff. So my mother, when this stuff happened, when he would retaliate and act out and slash tires and all that kind of stuff, of course that got me in trouble, because him doing that, my mother automatically blamed me. Even when I wasn't speaking to him or talking to him and wasn't on good terms, my mom, when he would do stuff like that, my mom would turn to me and be like, see what you brought into this house, see what you brought into this household, this is the type of trash that you want to deal with, and all this stuff, and just start and put me down, and all the time, whenever he did something, it fell back on me. It was, look, this is what you're gonna be dealing with for the rest of your life. I told you, you don't ever want to listen. This is the type of crap that happens. This is what you do. This is what you bring in. This is what you want to be around. And it's like, I'm not even talking to this man anymore. But anyway, so those were little weird incidences. But not only that, my mom had a reputation at her own job for being exactly who she was in my house at work. So, like I said before, she would always come and talk to us about her coworkers and stuff, gossiping about them, about the way they look, the way they dress, the way they talk. It was a lot of coworkers that I actually got along with. I didn't have any issues with her coworkers, and they hated my mother because they knew exactly how she was and who she was. One day she came home and she had her car keyed because the people at her job didn't like her, so she knew it was the people at her job. But yeah, they would key her car and mess with her car at work. So I don't know. Anyways, that stuff would happen, and it was because of her and her mouth. My mom always talks about my mouth, but my mouth is always going because I'm trying to either defend myself or just correct something. Her mouth just goes. But as we're paying my mother, rent every month, an incident happened where my twin sister, she didn't want to pay either she didn't want to pay my mother rent one month, or she couldn't. I couldn't remember which one it was. I just know one day she couldn't pay my mom rent, and my mother literally lost it. She went off on my sister. She was yelling at her and telling her that rent better be on the fireplace mantle when she get home. She ain't trying to hear it. If she ain't got the rent, she can leave. All this stuff. They went to work. My mom comes back home. The money ain't on the mantle. So my sister comes home. They get into this screaming match. I mean, they're yelling back and forth. It's another one of those fighting moments. I'm thinking it's going to get physical again. Luckily it don't, but she told my sister she can get out. So my sister happily obliged. And she went upstairs. She got all her stuff. She packed her stuff, and she called her boyfriend's mother. And she left and lived with her boyfriend and his mom. And after that incident, my sister ain't never came back to live with my mother. Ever. She never came back. There was another incident with my daughter's father. So since all this was happening between us and I wasn't really communicating with him, it was only if he wanted to see my daughter or if his mother wanted to see the daughter. It was nothing as far as relationship type stuff. I kept that dead. So like I deaded that. Like I said, it upset him a lot. So he started to not only retaliate, like I said, against my mother, but also like stalk me. So everywhere I went, I would always see him or find that he was there or watching or something like that. It was always something of that nature. Me and my sisters actually went to a baby shower. One of our friends were having a baby shower, and she was well known, and the baby shower was being held at a home that was kind of near the vicinity of where my daughter's father was. So I made sure that when I went to this person's house, I told the mom there, I said, so-and-so, my daughter's father, we're not on good terms right now, and I don't want to deal with anything today. So, and he's been, following me and watching me. I don't want him to come in the house while I'm here. I don't want him here at this baby shower. And she agreed, and she said, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be taken care of. Don't worry about it. If we see him, we'll tell him to leave. So, of course, time goes on. We're there celebrating, the baby shower and stuff. And lo and behold, he shows up, and everybody's saying, Tiffany, he's outside. And I'm like, keep him out of the house. I don't want him in this house. So I'm in the kitchen at this point, and somehow, some way, he gets through the garage and comes through the back door and comes through the kitchen and grabs me. And as he grabs me, he shoves me against the countertop, and then he headbutts me. At that time, everybody's trying to get him out of the house. They're trying to pull him off me, and they get him out of the house. They call the police. I call my mom. My mom comes, and they call the police, and the police come and write a report. And I think that next day, we go down to the courthouse, and I file an order of protection. I actually got that approved. The judge signed off on it, and I had an order of protection against him for 2 years. After that 2 years of order of protection, I never heard from him again. I didn't see him or talk to him again when I got that order of protection. We stayed at this townhome for a while, and then the lease is up again. My mom can't afford the rent again. So between that time, is the reason why she couldn't afford the rent is because she actually got fired from her job. So, and I don't know the reasoning of why she got fired. It's a bunch of reasons of why she says she gets fired, but a lot of the women up there didn't like my mother, and she's saying that, of course, her reasoning was she got fired from her job because of the relationship she had with her boyfriend, because her and her boyfriend worked at the same job. So anyways, I don't know, that's irrelevant, but she gets fired from her job. She can't afford the rent, and so we ended up moving in with my aunt, who is my uncle's ex-wife. And, you know, she agreed for us to stay there until we found a place of our own, or until, you know, a mother can find a job and, you know, find a place. My mom and my aunt, their relationship, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. It was only, you know, kind of stable because of my uncle. And of course my aunt was trying to help myself and my sister out and my daughter. And so she was nice enough to let us stay with her. Everyone knows how my mom is. My aunt knows how my mom is. And I just remember when we got to my aunt's house, when I came in with my daughter and we were taking our stuff into the rooms and stuff, I remember her saying, my mom's not in the vicinity at this time. I don't know where. She might have been outside, but as I'm inside with her, my aunt looks at me and my daughter, and she's like, you teach your daughter she's black, and teach her that, you know, y'all are black, she's black, and she's a black woman. I said, you ain't got to tell me twice. I know. Trust me, I know. That's the first thing I'm doing with my daughter. She will know exactly who she is. That's not going to be an issue with me. There's one thing about me that I think everyone should know. If anything, the main thing for me growing up and just becoming who I am, I made it a point that I would never be like my mother. I don't care how hard I had to fight to become me and not her. That's what I was going to do. Everything that she is or was, I'm never going to be. So she didn't have to worry about that at all. We're not in my aunt's house long before my mother and my younger sister start fighting. So my mom and my sister got in a fight. I can't remember why, but they're going back and forth. They're screaming at each other back and forth. My aunt and myself are, you know, trying to figure out what's going on, what's wrong. My mom brings her boyfriend. Her boyfriend shows up for backup for my mother, like always. They're screaming and yelling at each other. And then my mom's boyfriend butts in, of course, again. But this time, he hits a chord with my sister. He starts bringing up personal things to my sister, things that have happened to her and with her, and he brings that stuff up to her and throws it in her face and says, you know, if this and this didn't happen, you would be here. We did all this for you, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And the stuff that he threw at her was stuff that I would have lost it. Like, I give my sister props for not snapping because I would have lost it. Stuff that he said to her, and he's not even blood family. Like, this is my mother's boyfriend, but she's sitting up here letting him say these things to her daughter with no defense. Like, she didn't stop this man from saying stuff like that. She sat there and let him say it. And it's stuff literally that I would have, you know, I would be in jail for probably today if I would have did what I wanted to do. So anyways, after that big fight, my aunt was like, nope, y'all got to go, and I'm sorry, but she didn't want that in her home, which is understandable. You know, my cousin was there. She has a son, so my cousin was there as well. She didn't want that around her son. And so, I remember my uncle coming in and telling us that, you know, because he felt bad that, of course, my mom's without a job. She has no money. And my sister is waitressing and going to night school. And I'm working, you know, at this point, you know, part-time. And he just really felt really bad because he didn't know what we were going to do, but he basically told us, you know, we couldn't stay at his ex-wife's house anymore, you know. So I told him it was totally understandable, we'd find somewhere else to go. At that point, me and my sister started looking for an apartment, and we actually found an apartment that wasn't in the not so good area of Houston. And it was actually in, it's on the south side of Houston, and it's, if anybody knows the area where, off the Beltway where, you know, Ocean, that old store Ocean used to be, the apartments where Fat Pat used to live in, that's where we moved in, and it was hideously bad. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video here because the next video I'll get into that, that area of my life where it starts in those apartments. I want to thank you guys for watching my videos again. Thank you. Thank you for all the phone calls, for all the messages I keep getting. Thank you. And I hope you guys look forward to watching the next video. And thank you for watching this one. So I'm sending everyone peace, love, and light all the time. Good energy, good vibes.